Hello friends, I'm George, the nice smelling gentleman. Welcome back to my channel guys. I hope that all of you are doing good. In the past few weeks I've done videos about 10 Latafa, 10 Armaf and 10 Afnan fragrances that I'll always keep in my collection. And I'll use the opportunity to do a similar video today, but in this video I'm going to combine fragrances from the houses of Ajmal, Al Haramain, Rasasi and Swiss Arabian. So join me in this video today where I'm going to show you 12 fragrances from those 4 fragrance houses that I will always keep in my collection. I'll start the fragrances and the fragrance houses in alphabetical order. So I'll start with the house of Ajmal and I'll show you a total of 4 fragrances from Ajmal. The first one is called Ajmal Vibe for him. It comes in this bluish colored bottle. Don't be mistaken because there's an Ajmal Vibe for her which has a purple bottle. So some places it's not very clear whether you're buying the men's version or the women's version. The men's version is this dark blue colored bottle. This fragrance is a clone of Jean-Paul Gaultier's Le Mot Le Parfum. And it's a really nicely done clone. It's a little bit less sweet, a little bit more woody, feels a little bit more like a grown-up, more mature version of Le Mot Le Parfum, but still this is a great little fragrance that I like a lot, and I like the original one a lot too. Performance here is great, projection is great, price tag, at least when I was able to get this bottle, it was super cheap. You know, it costed me something like $20–25. It comes in a 75 milliliter bottle. It's a little bit on the ugly side, but the scent inside is fantastic. So if you're looking for a great alternative to Le Mot Le Parfum from Jean-Paul Gaultier, definitely check out Ajmal Vibe for him. If you enjoy my videos and if you enjoy my content guys, I would really appreciate if you hit the subscribe button. And also don't forget to hit the notification bell as well so you don't miss any of my future videos. The second fragrance from Ajmal and the second fragrance in this video is called Evoke Gold Edition. It has a very interesting, very unique bottle design. It comes in a very sort of nicely colored, gold colored bottle. This fragrance is a clone of Prada's L'Homme Intense. It's somewhere in between the original Prada L'Homme and Prada L'Homme Intense, but to my nose this leans a little bit more to the intense side. You get pretty much the same players. You got this soapy type of iris, unlike with Dior's fragrances that have a lipsticky iris. Here the iris feels clean, fresh, not as sweet, has that soapy vibe to it. You got some leather, you got some violet, some ouds on the dry down. It's not super close to Prada L'Homme Intense, but still it's one of the better options when it comes to alternatives to Prada L'Homme Intense. Performance here is pretty solid, 7 to 8 hours of performance, nice projection. Price tag, this can vary sometimes, but I was able to get this on a good deal. So if you can get this bottle for something like $25 to $30, I think it's a pretty decent deal. All in all, as I said, a very good alternative to Prada L'Homme Intense. The next two Ajmal fragrances that I'm going to show you are going to be Ajmal unique creations. Unlike the first two that I showed you, these are not copies of anything out there. They're not clones. At least I'm not aware of them being a clone of anything. The third fragrance from Ajmal is called Evoke Midnight Edition. Now, as you can see, it has an exact same bottle design as with the Gold Edition, but this thing comes in a stunningly great looking dark blue color. I absolutely love the the presentation, the bottle design and the color combination of this dark blue color and the bottle design. This is a very unique fragrance, a very unique Ajmal creation. It's a sort of a blue fragrance with a nice twist. You got some fruit sweetness with this fragrance. You got a lot of ouds, some spices. Actually, it's quite spicy, quite sweet as well. Super versatile, great performer, almost beast performing fragrance. I get easily over 9 hours of performance out of this fragrance with strong projection. It has a very high complement factor. And again, like with the Evoke Gold Edition, if you look around, you'll probably end up finding a pretty good deal on this fragrance. Something like $25 to $30. I think this is a great price tag for a great unique Ajmal creation. So if you're looking for a unique blue fragrance with great performance and great complement factor, definitely check out Evoke Midnight Edition. And the fourth and last Ajmal fragrance in this video is called Ambre Pimente. Another unique Ajmal creation that has a very unique and interesting scent profile. This is very spicy. It has a very strong cardamom note. Also, you get some amber sweetness. You got a lot of ouds on the dry down. You also get some freshness with this fragrance. It's a, as I said, very unique creation. Super versatile fragrance that can be worn pretty much all year round. Another fantastic performer. 9 to 10 hours of performance with very loud projection in the first about 2 hours. Again, if you look hard enough, you'll probably end up finding a very decent deal on this fragrance, you know, something like $25 to $30. If you're looking for a unique and super versatile fragrance that has enough sweetness, enough spiciness, also enough freshness as well, definitely check out Ajmal Ambre Pimente, the fourth fragrance in this video. Okay, now let's move on to 4 fragrances from the house of Haramain, and I'll start with what's probably their most famous fragrance currently, and it's called Detour Noir. This is a super cheap clone of Parfum de Marly's Layton, and it's probably the most well-known clone of Parfum de Marly's Layton. This thing had received a huge hype in the past year, also for a good reason. This is very decently priced. Performance here is very good. It will get you very close to the original scent. This feels like a slightly fresher take on the Parfum de Marly DNA, you know, scent. I pick up a stronger menthol note out of this fragrance compared to Layton, but all in all, especially on the dry down, this will get you super close to or let's not say super close, but very close to Layton. Performance is good, get about 8 hours of performance with nice projection in the first about 2 hours. Complement factor is great with this one. It's super cheap, costs about $25, you know, to $30, which is a tenth of the price of the original. And the next 3 Haramain fragrances that I'm going to show in this video will all going to be from their Amber Oud line of fragrances. Now, I'm a very big fan, a huge fan of their Amber Oud line of fragrances because I think they offer fantastic value for money and also have great packaging, great bottle design, great quality all around. The first one, or the second Haramain, and the first one from the Amber Oud line is called Amber Oud Rubby Edition. This is a super fantastic clone of Baccarat Rouge 540 Extrait. I really love this fragrance. I'm not a huge fan of the original, but for some reason I like Rubby Edition a lot. Super versatile fragrance, very likable, you know, scent DNA that almost everybody out there seems to like. You get almost identical scent to the original fragrance with a super fantastic performance to go with that as well. This is pretty much almost a beast mode performing fragrance, easily 10 hours on skin with great projection as well. Very high complement factor. Great bottle design, all around super fantastic quality. The third Haramain fragrance in this video is called Amber Oud Tobacco Edition. The best clone of Tobacco Vanille from Tom Ford, period. Super fantastic clone of Tobacco Vanille. It's not identical scent wise. This has its you know, small differences compared to the original, but the quality here of the scent especially is absolutely fantastic. You get pretty much the same players, you know, cinnamon, vanilla, tobacco, some added sweetness, some spices, a beast mode fragrance that has fantastic performance, 11-12 hours on skin, no problem at all, with great projection in the first 2 hours. Price tag can be low if you look hard enough. Again, because it's from the same Amber Oud line, you get fantastic presentation, super high quality bottle design, you know, and everything. I'm a big time lover of this fragrance. And the last Haramain fragrance in this video is going to be Haramain Amber Oud Black Edition. One of my recent fragrance discoveries, and one of you know, a fragrance that I immediately fell in love with. This is very unique, very dark scent. It's not a straight up clone of any fragrance, at least to my nose. It's heavily inspired by some other fragrances, but I think this is more of a unique creation by Haramain. It has an interesting, slightly fruity, slightly citrusy opening with a grapefruit note, but just after a few minutes after you spray this, this immediately turns into a very dark and very dense scent. It's spicy, you get cardamom, you got leather, you got amber sweetness on the dry down, you got some ambergris, and a strong tobacco note as well with this fragrance. It's super dark, quite sweet, very interesting, very sexy fragrance that has fantastic performance on skin. This lasts over 10 hours, and this is one of the fragrances that lasts the longest time on my clothes. If I spray this on clothes, this will easily last a week, even longer, and I'm not kidding. If you're looking for a very dark and sexy scent that's great for cold weather usage, definitely check out Haramain Ambre Oud Black Edition. Now let's move on to the house of Rasasi, and I'll show you a total of 3 Rasasi fragrances. And the first one is going to be their blue beast called Rasasi Shuhrah. A very famous fragrance in the fragrance community for a good reason. Another super unique fragrance that's not a clone of anything. It's a unique Rasasi creation, and as I said, it's very famous. Now, what you get with this one is a very interesting tomato leaf note in the opening of this fragrance that gives it sort of a, slightly floral freshness. And then the dry down, you get some rose, you get some amber, you get an ashy tobacco note. There are a lot of notes in this fragrance, but it's a very unique creation, very strong fragrance, beast mode performing fragrance with beastly projection. Not super easy to wear. You need to have more of an acquired taste in order to like a Shuhrah, but I definitely think that every fragrance enthusiast should at least once in their lifetime check out Rasasi Shuhrah. The second Rasasi in this video is going to be one of my first Middle Eastern fragrances that I ever got in my collection, and it's called Rasasi Daarej. A dirty cheap fragrance that used to be quite famous in the community. Nowadays the interest has died down for this fragrance, but I think it still deserves a lot of attention. This is very reminiscent of a long discontinued fragrance from the house of Valentino called Valentino V. It's not an exact clone, but it's pretty close. The main players here are spices. You get cardamom, some additional spices, and then you get vanilla and amber sweetness on the dry down. Very nice fragrance. I really like this one a lot. Great for cold weather usage. Has a good performance. I get about 8 hours. Now people have been saying that older batches of this fragrance used to be beast mode, but even current batches are good performance in my opinion. Also, this is a compliment getter. I've been really surprised at the number of compliments that I've been getting while wearing this fragrance. And the best thing out of all is that it's very cheap. It costs about $20. And the last Rasasi in this video is going to be what's probably their most famous fragrance, and it's the Rasasi Hawas. A super youthful, super sweet fragrance that's very reminiscent of something like Paco Rabanne's Invictus Aqua. Now, people are wrongly calling this a clone of Aqua simply because this came out a few years before Aqua, so it cannot be a clone of Aqua, but it's very similar scent-wise. You get that bubblegummy sweetness mixed with some sea notes, a bit of saltiness that balance out the fragrance a little bit, but still the scent profile is super bubblegummy, super sweet. Very youthful fragrance that's great for warm weather usage. Now, there are a few rumors about this fragrance. I've seen, you can see the color of my juice inside, the color of the juice inside my bottle has this sort of a purplish hue to it. And I've seen people showing bottles that have a blue colored juice, and those people, or even some, showing a gray colored juice inside their bottles. And those people claim that their fragrances are not performing. Now, my batch is a recent batch, it's from last year, and as you can see has the purplish color, and this is a great performer. It's not a beast mode, but I easily get 8 to 9 hours of performance out of this fragrance with very strong projection in the first 2 hours, and this thing also has a high complement factor. So I don't know if it's been reformulated, if there are different versions, but even the newer batches of the purplish colored juice are good performance. And the last fragrance in this video is going to be from the house of Swiss Arabian, and it's called Shagaf Oud Azrak. Now, this thing is supposed to be a limited edition fragrance, but from what I've seen online, it's readily available. And this is a very interesting and unique fragrance with a heavy Middle Eastern vibe to it, and I absolutely love it. The main players here are agar oud, honey, vanilla, amber, cinnamon, and leather. Some people compare this to honey oud from Montal. Even some people are calling this a clone of honey oud. I don't think that they are that similar. I don't think this is a clone of honey oud, but it definitely, it's in the same vibe. It's super strong, over 10 hours of performance with loud projection in the first 2 hours, great for cold weather usage. If you like that mix of honey and oud with leather and vanilla sweetness, and if you in general like Middle Eastern styled fragrances, definitely check out Shagaf Oud Azraq. This is the last fragrance in today's video. And so in today's video I showed you a total of 12 fragrances from the houses of Ajmal, Al Haramain, Rasasi and Swiss Arabian that I will always keep in my collection. I hope that you found this video interesting. If you did, give it a like, and I also hope that you're going to join me in my next video. And until then, stay safe and bye bye.